And welcome back to News Hour. The show continues for about 30 more minutes because we are the home of Francis Atwoli, the Kotu Secretary General, speaking tonight about Kenya's politics and the things that matter to you. Remember, Kenya, we are Kenya and Kenya is our business. Very important indeed. He supports the Azimio La Umoja side and he's confident that Raila Odinga will win the presidency. However, the election, according to Pandit, is too close to call. We can't call it as yet, but he thinks Raila Odinga is becoming the president. Katibu, thank you once more for bringing us to your home. We're grateful tonight. So let's talk about the politics of numbers now. Because every Kenyan who is interested in this election is looking at how to win the election through the numbers. Break it down for us. Because I'd like to go back to the Uhuru factor in central Kenya, where he has been dismissed as non-consequential because he's retiring. But I want us to look at the numbers. If you have to win this election this time around, because if you go back to the 60s, there was a Kikuyu Luo presidency, there was Kikuyu Kalenjin presidency, then there is a Kalenjin Kikuyu presidency, there's Luo Kikuyu presidency. Every time there's an election, there's a way the politics of this country are aligned. So how do you see this election being won in 2022?
I've already told you those regions that are locked up for Azimio, and those regions have numbers. People are still doubting what will happen in Central Province. Central Province or Mount Kenya area, this is an area of business people and people who would like this country to be stable, or Kenyans to play to apply political stability and tolerance. And Mount Kenya people like waking up and doing their own things. They don't rely on politicians. They rely on their strength and skills of doing things. So they would like to be in a country that is peaceful and a country that can provide a free atmosphere and a free environment from where they can freely operate. So eventually, as I know, they will weigh the two. They will see in whose hands are we safe. They will ask them, and they are now asking themselves, in whose hands are we safe? Here there is political rhetoric from UDA, marshaled by one-term politicians who have no political experience and of our political terrain they have undergone in our region. And these are people also who came together for a purpose. If you see those young men in Central Province who are supporting William Samoei Ruto, these are young men that William Samoei Ruto made them to see 100 million Kenya shillings through tendering and procurement for the first time. So their hope is that if he was there, they would be more richer than any. That is where their politics is pegged. It's not pegged on any progressive idea. Politics is not pegged on an aspiration or ideology, or politics is not pegged on any historical background of the region, or politics is not pegged on any providing protective gears or protection to their people. It is politics of stomach, as it is known. I will tell you what, my brother, when we started, you asked me whether I'm a member of Deep State. If you are, what people think that when people come here visiting me here, I'm facilitated by the government. I can tell you, I'm not facilitated by anybody else for somebody to visit in this home. I'm an employee of Kenyan workers. I use whatever little I have to sit here with my friends. I don't give out money, but just to talk as we are talking with you on a cup of coffee. But those guys, you hear them talking loud, and sometimes they even mention my name. And I'm not a competitor in any way, because of my openness, because the way I see things, because of what I say, and so on. So what I want you to take to the bank from today, that from April, and watch the political dynamism in our country, political changes, and what is going to happen after April, before May 1st, when I have my Labor Day. This is the day you will come here and agree with me that, Francis, I'm seeing what you said. Somebody called me recently who could not believe when I was saying 2014 William is not going to be the president. He told me, how did you know about this? Because I've seen in my area, people have changed. People are not talking about the same language. And let me tell you, people should not believe that the young people are not also listening to the older people. There are only few who might think otherwise. Because today, in a world of technological change, where we moved from polytechnics, we moved from those old type of elections, we moved where people used to be taught about carpentry and tailoring, and now people are learning about information technology, people are learning about smart economy, which drives digital economy. People are talking about both green and blue economies. People are talking things that will affect the future of this country, things related to global warming, which creates global climate change. People are talking to how can we be able to secure our ozone layer crack, which is up there, and what will happen with the radiation from the sun. People are talking scientific language, and somebody is still talking about a wheelbarrow.
It's a symbol.
Yeah, it's not a symbol.
He says it's
a symbol. Says anybody even with a wheelbarrow, where and where, akasi ni kasi. You went to university. I have taken my children to the university. I expect them to operate that wheelbarrow through computer. Because nowadays we don't have wheelbarrows on building sites. We have conveyor belts operated through computers from a mixture plant of cement and what have you. The cement is transported on 30th, 50th floor through a conveyor belt operated by computer. And you are telling my son a wheelbarrow is still relevant. What are you talking about? You want to make me get tired. I can now. I can even explain. You see, those theories, those are theories that make people sick. Because if you go to Asia now, go to Asia. Start with Vietnam, where we had a war in 80s and so on, 70s, late 70s and 80s. Go and see how Vietnam looks like. Go to South Korea. South Korea had independence the same day with Ghana in 1957. Go there and see what is happening in South Korea, where they are. Go to Malaysia. Our president gave a grant of $5 million in 1968 to the government of Malaysia because Malaysian government supported us in Kuala Lumpur. When you want to go to Kuala Lumpur, the agreement between the then government and our government through President Kenyatta is that you get your visa on arrival if you are a Kenyan. Go and see what is there. Twin malls. You enter into one mall, everything is there. Go to Singapore and see what is happening there. When we attained independence, they had no even double-decker buses when we had them in Nairobi here. So what I'm trying to tell you, these people moved because of technological change and accepting to go deeper into IT classes. And the information technology, like in Singapore, Kuala Lumpur, South Korea, Vietnam now, India, and China, they started in Japan. China, now they are completing a transformation of information technology in central China up to Miao village inside there. They finished in Sichuan province, in Chengdu, and they are finished. If you go to Guangdong province, where we have where people always go in what they call it Guangzhou, which is Guangzhou, they have finished. You enter into an hotel, everything is an IT. And what they did, they made an IT subject a must. By law, they went to parliament and they came up with a law that everybody must be an IT literate to transform the country.
But are the young men listening to what you're saying? Are the young people who are voters, well, the majority in this country?
But they need to be guided. They are now listening. This is a national medium I'm using now.
Yeah.
They must know that we are behind. For us to change, we cannot listen to somebody who is trying to preach about wheelbarrows, who is telling us where and where. People have moved there. We want to transform this country technologically, because you must be smart. Smart enough to drive smart economy.
Okay.
Smart economy is your telephone. Your telephone is smart telephone. iPhone, Samsung, your television is smart. What most of young men know on their telephone is SMS, is WhatsApp. That's what they use on it. If they are lucky, they can have an email on their telephones and so on. But there are a lot of things on that telephone that can make them rich. This is where Ruto should be telling people, how can we be in a position to create both soft and hardware that can give us applications that can open up our mind in international trade? Where you have only one contract, you become a billionaire. Other than telling people where and where, cars and cars. How do you transform your country? This is where we want when Raila, and I know it's not going to get, there's nothing like if, or in the event he doesn't. I don't believe in those things. Because I don't. When I know this is,
bad loser.
I'm a bad loser. So what is going to happen? We must come up with a law that compels any Kenyan citizen, even if you are at age of 80, you must be IT literate. Because things are changing.
Okay.
Even ordering of medicine, there will be an application jointly worked on by all doctors. If you have a sore throat, you go to that application will lead you to where you can say how you are feeling. You get an answer within 15 minutes. After that, you are shown in which pharmacy you can get that medicine. You pay when you are in the house. You send a pin of where you are. 2 minutes, the medicine is at your door.
Okay.
That is where the world is going. The world is not on wheelbarrows. The world is not on cocotte. Even carpentry, like these seats you are sitting on, these are made in Malaysia for Ashley Company of the United States of America. And these seats are produced technologically through IT, through digital. Hakuna randa huko namna hii. Shenzi sana.
So, SJ, a lot of people I'm looking on social media are asking, perhaps you have the knowledge of where President Uhuru Kenyatta and his deputy fell. Where did it happen? What happened?
I think one, because I have been on NSSF for a long time. What the deputy president did immediately became a president, he summoned my executive board. And he said, at the NSSF where you are is where I have interest. We need to use that money to put up buildings, to do what and do business. I came back and we looked at it and we said, without a feasibility study done, workers would lose billions and billions of money. Within a month, he had posted a minister there. You knew minister about Kambi Kazungu. He had promoted a boy. I employed myself as a finance officer to become MT. He had reshuffled the board until we had to go to court and so on. So everywhere, I think that rush of our deputy president in every area. You remember power and lighting, what happened there, those transformers and what have you. Even including poles, no more wooden poles we used to use, they were done away with. So many interference in so many other places. So I think the president might have thought this would be a bad legacy. Everything, or even government, he had a hurry and appetite of enriching himself and also domineering. He wants to outshine his boss. 48 laws of power. If you have read it, how you can be able to cope up with your head of state. He didn't read those things. So I think I knew from the word go somewhere else they will be able to disagree. Because for you to ascend, I remember at one time we wanted the late President Moi, when he was a vice president, to come and do a rambe for us in Butere. And I was the secretary of the Butere Development Society. And then we went through Martin Shikuku. He said it is good. let's go. We walked, because Martin Shikuku was assistant minister in the office of the vice president. We went to his office. The president told us, the vice president, who was more at that time, he said, me as a person I've accepted, but there is no way I can come to Butere without having been given permission by my boss. His boss was President Kenyatta. So we waited until he was okayed. And you know, because of his relationship with Martin Shikuku at that time, they were all in Kadu, he would have just come. But you see, with William Samoei Ruto, President Uhuru Kenyatta was there for information only. For only information. And if you went to State House, he had his own people there. Even if you want to talk to President Kenyatta on issues of very great importance, within 2 minutes you will see him there. He has been called. So he took President Kenyatta as if it is him who made President Kenyatta. President Kenyatta had his mom and Paul's at what happened. And very intelligent guy. You see, President Uhuru Kenyatta is not like other presidents we have had. He would have jumped into what is happening. He would have been replying to these people who are abusing him. But he doesn't reply. Until he earns sympathies, until everybody in Kenya is sympathizing with him. So when he talks, he will be listened to.
What is he going to say in central Kenya, as he said? Would you know what is...
I can't talk for him. I'm not his advisor. I'm not competent to advise him.
What would you think he's going to tell central Kenya?
No, but he can't retire before he defends himself.
He has to tell them.
He will do that. At appropriate time, he will go there and tell people, this road, like the road between Kenol and so on, and all those. And you know, he has put roads everywhere in the Republic of Kenya. Even from Malin to Lamu, where people did not expect one day we'll have a tarmac road through Bon Forest. He has built several roads, I'm telling you, everywhere in this Republic of Kenya. And he doesn't boast, he doesn't sell, he doesn't do what. So I know at one given time, he would go to Central Kenya and ask Central Kenya people any tangible development that has been carried out in this area. Who did it? Is it William Samoei Ruto or is it me? You people who have been listening to William Samoei Ruto. His ID reads that he was born in Kirinyaga, in Murang'a, in Nyandarua, in Laikipia, in Meru. No.
Okay. The reason the president gave was, as he was preparing to relay the baton, the deputy president took off.
That is one. Because he immediately after elections, even President Kenyatta persevered very much. He started campaigning from the day go. He started during that day when they were in their own Jubilee party. When he rigged all those old politicians from Central Kenya, he wanted to create his own empire in Mount Kenya. That is why he came up with all one-term MPs now who are now one-term or two-term MPs. He did away with those historian people who knew Mount Kenya very well. So he was looking ahead. But let me tell you, there is a saying, and this is true, and you can ask anybody else. If you want to ascend to power, and Mo used to tell us, be humble. Be persuasive. Make friends. Make partners, not followers, like what Raila is telling people. But when you start undoing others using tricks, tricks are, short-sighted to anybody who wants to ascend to power. Don't use tricks.
Okay.
Let people realize and invest their total faith in you, that you are genuine, you are honest, you are specific, you are sincere, and you are responsive. Let people know you like that.
Okay.
But don't use tricks, like now the tricks he's using. He can go to a public rally. Somebody came to my gate here. who took some people at his place. He stands up, he says, now I've listened to you. Ken Mijungu, who is the leader of delegation, will bring I would give him 2.5 million to bring it to you. I'm telling you, go back to Luo Nyanza, you will not get that money. If you don't sell your land to give those people 2.5 million, your house will be burned. Those are short-term tricks which cannot help you. Eventually they act or they work against you.
Okay. Central Kenya finally. Central Kenya has been said is a game changer. Well, they're saying Kalonzo Musyoka now will determine who wins this election. But over time, they've said Central Kenya is the game changer. And I like your opinion in this. Whoever picks a running mate from Central Kenya has won the election. True or false?
Yeah, but it depends who.
It depends on the individual pick.
You want to tell me even if Musalia Mudavadi picked up a running mate from Central Kenya can win election?
You said there are two horses in this race.
Okay.
Yes,
so it is not, it will depend who picks.
Yes.
If Raila did, he has won elections in the morning.
Pair them. Pair for me Raila Odinga and Martha Karua.
No, I can't. That one I can't. Because let me tell you, he's the one who is going to run the government. He must be given time to look around and shop around and consult his friends and make sure that he picks the right person. We cannot suggest anybody for him. Somebody who suggested now, quietly who is lamenting, somebody who suggested and supported William Samoei Ruto to him. Because when you are disorganized by the same person, it dismantles your plan, you will always blame the person.
But we should be a good catch for the Azimio, Lamoja. Away from advising him, just your own notion of how people win elections.
To me, even if it isn't. Me, I've never complained for central people ascending to power through what they went through. Because you see, when most of you are not born, when these guys went through a lot of problems, apart from people who went there were very few people. Like I can remember in Luo Nyanza, somebody who internationalized struggle for freedom, for our freedom, were only two people. First was Jaramogo Gingodinga and Moya, who worked out on a lot of external networks to make sure that we are independent. That one is known, is documented, you can read it, it's not a question of what. If you come to my place, Martin Joseph Shikuku, when he was a train guard, stopped a train in Kijabe to offload guns and what have you. The driver who came from Lurambi constituency, he was hanged because of that. Those were some of the few people. There were not very many. And then people like Masinde Muliro came, joined for that struggle and so on when we were nearing to get independence. You go to Ukambani, a lot of Muindi Mwana wa Mbingu, who brought a lot of cows here and he said it must be done. There were a lot of people who contributed. Menza in Cliffy and the rest of Kenyans contributed to the fight of our freedom. But the people who had borne the brunt of what they are fighting for, were in a lot of problems, were our brothers in Central.
Okay.
Yeah, so whatever they can lay their fingers on and enjoy, even if it is top leadership or deputy presidency, and also to they work hard for the Nairobians, for the people who are around here. They are hardworking people. So somebody choosing a leader from them, and they have numbers. I cannot complain. I would say always that they should be part and of central participation in whatever management of our affairs are. So I cannot complain. And having said that, I'm not saying that if he wants to pick his deputy from somewhere, he shouldn't. But it is up to him to know and to calculate the question you have been asking me, who have numbers. If I did this, who have numbers. You heard what Kimani Ngunjiri tweeted. He said, he asked his boss, Musalia, what has he come? No numbers on the table. What is he having? What can he put on the table? Because all his MPs he had gone to Azimio. So if those are coming, like it was very impressive when I watched what happened in Kahuhia Stadium in Muranga and also Nyandarua yesterday, and the trip of where when he went to impromptu funeral of the mother of the deputy governor of Nyeri in Karatina, the turnout. So with those, somebody can't stands out enthusiastically. And one thing with the Raila's turnout is genuine, is he doesn't transport people from one place to another. Two, he doesn't technologically work on a camera or digitally work on a camera to show that the attendance, this attendance is massive when there are very few people. One head is produced digital to be about 5 heads, 10 heads of people, and then you think there are people there.
Okay.
So genuinely, I would not hesitate to recommend, if I was in a position to recommend. But I can assure you for free, I don't advise Raila Odinga. I don't advise President Uhuru Kenyatta. But they remain to be my friends because of what they stand for.
Okay. If the notion that Deputy President William Ruto has a majority of Central Kenya, is it possible for Raila Odinga still to win that election if he is not completely supported by Central Kenya?
You know, there has been a perception, which to me sometimes it appears as if it is true, that Raila has been always close to winning elections. I don't know how true is that, but that perception is there for some people who have been voters like us. But I can tell you, this has always been without the support of Central Kenya. So if Central Kenya, a good sizable number of Central Kenya people, and it is not going to be a good sized number of people, I'm sure about 70% of Mount Kenya would vote for Raila. That one you can take it to the bank. 70%. They are genuine. If a Kikuyu tells you, come tomorrow, I will give you a job, he will give you a job. Even if he has his brother who is jobless. Kalenjin cannot do that. Aluo cannot do that. Aluya, maybe if you took him somewhere else and you told him, yes, God, he might change and do that. But the rest of the people will always think about their own people first.
Okay.
But if a Kikuyu assures you, like those ones you see them assuring Raila Molo, they will give him votes.
Mount Kenya Foundation?
They will give him votes.
What does that say of your friend President Uhuru Kenyatta, who told William Ruto that namaliza yangu tano, utachukua 10 alafu utachukua yako 10? That's a promise that is broken.
If William Samuel Ruto would have behaved, he would have behaved. He would have kept quiet, let me tell you. If he would have kept quiet as a loyal deputy, this time is when he would be, when they are going to have their NTC. You know, Jubilee has never had it. They have not done their NTC. This is the time we would have asked President Uhuru in our NDC. Should somebody propose my name? Foolishly asks him like that. I still for 10-10. Would have told him yes. But you have disorganized me. I gave you a promise. You didn't keep a promise. These things, Ken, you are not a new person. You have had girlfriends. You are a married guy. You have even your business partners. If somebody doesn't keep a promise, keeping a promise, how do you deal with that guy? Would you continue to believe in that guy? Somebody who doesn't keep a promise. Me, I keep promises. If I'm not coming, I will call you. If we have a meeting for 9, I will be in your office 8:30 for 9. Throughout my life. Can ask anybody else. That is keeping promise. These small things here matters very much. So what I'm trying to, unless if I'm overwhelmed by something and I forget to call you. And in any case, it has happened to me on several occasions. Because sometimes my personal assistants are away. Until I had to get Mary from your industry. She's now the one who is acting like my personal assistant and as my wife. She takes notes. She advises me. Sometimes she prepares speeches for me. Besides this young man I have. So unless you have somebody sharp next to you, you might not be able to keep your promise. And that is technical.
Okay.
But there are people naturally who don't keep promises. Even timekeeping is a problem. And tell me, how do you deal with such people? I wish William Samuel Ruto would have kept a promise. Because 10-10 was a promise. Every Kenyan knows that he didn't keep a promise.
All right, we play the video of the week. When we come back from playing the video of the week, I'll give you time to give us your parting shot as an elder. Right, let's play the video of the week.
viongozi wetu. Sio lazima kuwe na mapigano, sio lazima kuwe na matusi ndio usikike uliongea, ndio usikike umefanya. Mimi naomba viongozi, hizi pesa za kupatia vijana ati 1,000 shilingi 500 ya chang'aa, shilingi 20 ya chang'aa, mareso ya kujifunga wa mama, kofia na t-shirt, ndizo zinaleta hizi fujo zote. And when you are doing this, you should put it in your mind ya kwamba katika miaka 5 hilo utakuwa kwa kiti, ile leso yule mama hawezi kujifunga ile leso miaka 5. Hakuna kijana anaweza kunywa pombe ya 200 miaka 5. Mimi nawaomba, wachaneni na hii mambo, uzeni sera, wacheni kuharibu vijana kichwa, punguzeni joto ya siasa, maana Kenya tukiharibu tutaenda wapi? No leader is indispensable. Leaders comes and goes, but our nation will remain there. Kizazi kitakuja baada ya kingine. Let us set a good example. Let us be role models for the upcoming politicians na watoto wetu walioko shule. Tuondoe fujo na maafa katika mikutano yetu na katika siasa zetu. Kizazi kitakuja baada ya kingine. A good example. Let us be role models.
All right. Good way to end our show tonight with a parting shot from that gentleman, the video who has been playing online, advising the young people. Katibu, your comment on that video in terms of how politicians right now is the silly season and we are likely to see a lot of money going around, a lot of small tokens going around, and based on that, we are going to vote. To the young people, and of course your parting shot as we leave.
I would advise young people, once you attain the age of above 18, you are no longer a young person. Once you get an ID and you have a voting card, you are no longer a young person. Think twice, consult, and make sure that you move in the right direction. And don't be given money. Money is for that particular moment. But you will have that bad man for another 5 years. So my appeal to the young people is that listen to your parents, listen to those who are older than you, and make a well-researched decision as we are going for elections. As he has rightly said, this country is ours, all of us, and we must make sure and accept that Kenya is bigger than any of us, and we must keep peace. For you to keep peace, you must know whom do you want to elect to lead you. All these leaders you have heard what they have done. Some are land grabbers, some have done funny things. I would appeal to the youth that if you want to enter the world of modernization, the world that is transforming in another area of providing employment through scientific means, please think twice before you are given pombe, you are given anything, you are intoxicated, you are used for public rallies, you are used to go and fight or to cause mayhem in some people's meetings. That would be my appeal to young people, and I support him for appealing. And I want also to appeal to leaders. Please, sell your policies. Sell your policies. Don't coerce people for nothing. I have listened to some leaders with one message throughout and a message that is meaningless. You know? So I would appeal to the youth to be more careful with politicians. Some who are exiting, some who have outlived their usefulness. So I think that would be our way. And two, listen to me. I have already indicated and I have already guided you. I have already told you who is going to be your president, that you should be prepared for him. Don't waste your vote to a person who is not going to win these elections. Don't waste your time to somebody who is going to incite people, Kenyans against Kenyans. Don't waste your vote to somebody who is known that he has appetite for Kenya. I've always advised you that if you elected the UDA boss, my friend William Samoei Ruto, he will put the Central Bank of Kenya on the back, and he will have nothing like employment, like accessing anything. You see, you value somebody in accordance with the friends who surround that person, who are friends of William Samoei Ruto.
Well, a good place to end the show tonight. This has been News Hour. today was a show night. Thank you so much, Francis Atwoli, KOTU Secretary General, for speaking to us tonight from your home right here in Kajiado. We're very grateful you could speak to us. I mean, the message is out there. As I always say, Kenya, we are Kenya, and Kenya is our business. Thanks so much for watching News Hour. On behalf of my colleague Akiso Wandera and the whole team right here and at Standard Group Center, thank you very much. And of course, I have to say thank you to Mary Atwoli for welcoming us to the home. Have a good night. God bless. Tomorrow night, I will be back at 9 p.m. But remember, we start broadcasting right at 6 a.m. in the morning. Have a good night. God bless. My name is Ken Mijungo.